5 psychological facts about sex and mental health. Did you know they were connected? Did you know that sex and mental health was connected? Y'all didn't know that, huh? Oh, yes. Word of the day is distress. Distress is all through the presentation today. It's extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain. That's distress. Sorrow, extreme sorrow, extreme anxiety, extreme pain. I'm talking about it's a year later and you still hurting you. Man, y'all better quit, because some of y'all carrying pain from when you was 12 years old still. Some of y'all carrying pain from when you was 15 years old still. So, distress, extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain. Saying of the day, anything you lose by being real was fake. Our thoughts, feelings, and overall mental health play a large part in how we experience sex. Say it again, our thoughts. Think about this now. Our thoughts, our feelings, how you feel, and your overall mental health play a large part in how we experience sex. Mental health and sex are strongly connected in many fascinating ways. Example, the brain releases the neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin during sex. That's like a cocktail of drugs, natural drugs. What does this do? This increases one's happiness and relaxation, while also temporarily reducing those negative feelings that can come along with depression. So sex can, for a brief time, make you forget about depression. What does this do? This increases one's happiness and relaxation, while also temporarily reducing those negative feelings that can come along with depression. With our sex life affecting our mental health and our mental health affecting our sex life, with our sex life affecting our mental health and our mental health affecting our sex life, there are a lot of interesting facts to learn about the two together. So, 5 psychological facts about sex and mental health. Number 1, feeling sad after sex. You ever did that? Feeling sad after sex. You just had sex, but then you start to cry. What's going on here? This is actually called postcoital dysphoria. It's a word for that. Postcoital dysphoria, PCD for short, and it's quite common. This is when one experiences intense sadness, distress, extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain, or anger post-sex or post-orgasm. So after you've had sex, after you've had your orgasm, now all of a sudden you're experiencing extreme anger, you're experiencing extreme distress or extreme sadness. PCD happens to males and females. You may find yourself suddenly sad and in tears, even though a few moments ago you were fine. Post-sex is a reflective period and that can bring up emotions and experiences we normally keep under wraps. So a lot of times what they're saying is that after sex, we think. 5 psychological facts about sex and mental health. Number 2, positive self-image and masturbation. Growing up, they made us think that masturbation was a bad thing. Masturbation is not a bad thing. Having sex too early is a bad thing. Because as a kid, emotionally, you can't handle sex. I mean, you can perform the act. If you're 15 and you got a 15-year-old girlfriend and y'all want to get away with it, y'all can have sex. But emotionally, y'all can't handle that stuff. There's some people that's in their 30s can't handle sex emotionally with another person. There's some people in their 50s can't handle sex emotionally with another person. There's people in their 70s can't handle sex emotionally with another person. A 2011 study found that masturbating may improve how you view yourself. The study states that among women, masturbation in childhood and adolescence has been associated with positive sexual experiences later in life and a healthy self-image. In another study of adolescent females ages 16 to 18, those with negative views about masturbation reported negative first sexual experiences compared to those who hold positive views of masturbation. And that can make a big difference depending on if you've mastered masturbation. Positive self-image and masturbation. A 2011 study found that masturbating may improve how you view yourself. The study states that among women, masturbation in childhood and adolescence has been associated with positive sexual experiences later later in life and a healthy self-image. In another study of adolescent females ages 16 to 18, those with negative views about masturbation reported negative first sexual experiences compared with those who hold positive views of masturbation. And that can make a big difference depending on if you mastered masturbation. The study also indicated the majority of males reported masturbation at 73.8%. So males masturbate a whole lot more than women do. The study also indicated the majority of males reported masturbation at 73.8%, while females reported at 48.1%. The topic of masturbation is still highly stigmatized with a negative view. And that's why a lot of young people don't do it, because masturbation has a negative view. You get more points going and having sex with a young girl your age than you would masturbating. You hear what I'm saying? You praised by how many girls you can conquer. Whereas if you can conquer yourself, you possibly can have some sort of self-control later on in life, because some of us as grown men in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s, and 80s have no control over ourselves when it comes to sex. You could be going into the 7-Eleven and something look at you the right way, you going right back out, hey, what's up, baby? No self-control. Heart attack myth. Having a heart attack during sex is often depicted in movies. Someone suddenly going into cardiac arrest during sexual intercourse is not likely to happen, but rather just great comedic timing. So that's just a joke. It's very rare to have a heart attack during sex, with less than 1% of heart attacks occurring during sex. Still, people tend to hold on to this heart attack myth. What is fascinating now, this is what I want y'all to hear, man, because this is fascinating. What is fascinating is that research has discovered that at the off chance that heart attacks do happen during sex. Now, if you do happen to have a heart attack during sex, you want to know what men are more likely to have a heart attack during sex. Married men. Is that research has discovered that at the off chance that heart attacks do happen during sex, it more often happens to men when they're cheating, when in comparisons with someone's having sex with a spouse. You're more likely to have a heart attack having sex while cheating than you are to than having sex at the same time with your wife. It's fascinating is that research has discovered that at the off chance that heart attacks do happen during sex, it more often happens to men when they've cheated, when in comparisons with when someone is having sex with a spouse. Some believe it could be due to guilt, anxiety, and overall psychological distress, extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain. Because you're hurting somebody, you're cheating on somebody you love. And somebody who loves you and somebody who trusts you. So the guilt, the anxiety, and overall psychological distress that come from cheating, especially for men, can cause a heart attack. With the stress that can arise from cheating, with the stress affecting the heart. Also, unfaithfulness in men seems to be associated with a higher risk of major cardiovascular events or deterioration. 5 psychological facts about sex and mental health. Number 4, arousal non-concordance. Arousal non-concordance. As mentioned before, our thoughts and state of mind are an important part in sex and arousal. A research study published in 2020 found that sexual inactivity. Check this out, y'all. This is powerful. This is powerful. Check this out. As mentioned before, our thoughts and state of mind are an important part in sex and arousal. A research study published in 2020 found that sexual inactivity. A 2020 study found that sexual inactivity increased among U.S. adults, predominantly younger men, between 2000 and 2018, with potential public health implications. So what they're saying is that a new study that came out between the year 2000 and 2018 found that young men between that age, young men have sexual inactivity. They don't want to get married. They don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to have sex early. Or sometimes they don't want to have it at all. From 2000 to 2020, they've been doing this study, and they found that young men, they're giving up on relationships. Young men, for some reason, are giving up on sex. As mentioned before, our thoughts and state of mind are an important part in sex and arousal. A research study published in 2000 found that sexual inactivity increased among U.S. adults, predominantly younger men, between 2000 and 2018, with potential public health implications. Rates of depression and anxiety have increased because they're not having sex. Rates of anxiety is going up. Rates of depression are going up amongst those men, young men. Rates of depression and anxiety have increased among young U.S. adults. U.S. adolescents are increasingly postponing the start of adult activities, including sex and dating. And it has been suggested that the introduction of smartphones and increased propaganda has resulted in less opportunity for real world and human interactions. Because a smartphone will make you think you got 1,001 million options out there. When really you don't. Because majority of those people are false and they're not presenting a positive image. Not just that, you got the men and the women wars going on right now. Where you got a bunch of men posting negative things about women, and you got women posting a lot of negative things about men. So what it's doing is it's driving a wedge in between marriage. It's driving a wedge into healthy relationships. They don't understand what's going on right now. I know where it started. Pimps up, hoes down. Once we went from songs that highlighted women, that honored women, that respected women, once we moved away from that and moved to pimps up, hoes down, we don't love these hoes. See, because once we started saying it, repeating after Snoop Dogg and all of them, it didn't make a difference. It was when the women started singing it. And the women started dancing to them songs, pimps up and hoes down. Now you dancing to that song, you validate it. It can be pretty difficult to relax enough to enjoy sex if you're experiencing anxiety. There's also arousal non-concordance. This is when the mind does not match up with what the body is feeling. Your body may be aroused, but your mind isn't feeling it, or the other way around. This often happens to males and females with anxiety. Anxiety is going to affect your health, your sex life. Time to get creative. Oxytocin is released during sexual activity and linked to the intensity of orgasms, according to Healthline. But did you know that it's also a love hormone that can also get you feeling creative? Although oxytocin is intended to make you feel closer to your partner, it is also able to create cognitive, flexible pathways in the brain, which can foster creative thinking and improve problem solving. So just by having sex, clearing your mind, getting over your anxiety, it creates pathways in your brain so that if sex starts to get boring with somebody who you in a relationship with, you have those y'all try some different stuff. That's all. Right. You don't remember the Eddie Murphy comedy skit? He was like, hey, baby, okay, check it out. You lay down there, spread your legs open. I'm going to jump, grab that chandelier. I'm going to be butt naked. Now I'm going to just fall right there. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, so, but the thing is, if sex isn't, if you're not mentally prepared for it, it's not going to be a positive or a good experience. You might get your orgasm, but afterwards you might be sitting around crying and feeling depressed or feeling mad. So, we said 5 psychological facts about sex and mental health. Number 1, feeling sad after sex. Number 2, positive self-image and masturbation. Number 3, the heart attack myth. Number 4, arousal non-concordance. That's when your mind want it, but your body ain't working. Or your body want it, but your mind don't want it. And then number 5, time to get creative.